Hello and welcome to South Coast Busways here at the Standard Way Garage in Fareham with Solent Blue, where we are finally coming back to National Busways South Coast East, as it was called before the transition to localised branding with Morse. Obviously now it's Solent Blue. And we're here not to look at the Isle of Wight. We're here to look at, where is it? That's Fareham. We're here to look over here at Whiteley Village, Swanwick, Warsash, this whole area. And we're here to make some changes. So, you might notice that the W1 no longer exists. The W1 is now numbered the W3. And we're going to be completely reworking the W3 from the W1 to send it over to Bursledon and terminate it at Whiteley Village. So, let's edit route, and we're really keeping kind of none of this route. Whiteley Village Cinema, cool. So we're going to leave that stop, and then we're going to get rid of stops after it to hang on. So what we're going to do is we're going to send the route out of Whiteley Village. It's going to come down this way. Then you can't go this way. So we're going to have to send it up this way. So we're going to retain the stop at Whiteley Way and at Whiteley Way roundabout, and we're going to retain stops out to Whiteley Primary School. Then we're going to get rid of the stop at this first stop at Yew Tree Drive, and then we're going to get rid of everything after the second stop at Yew Tree Drive. But naturally, we're coming this way. So as we come out of Whiteley, we're going to have a stop there. That is going to be Whiteley Village. What is that? Silver Birch Way? Yes. So this is going to be Whiteley Silver Birch Way, adjacent Time Avenue. I need to bring up OpenStreetMap so that I can actually see the place names that the street names that I'm stopping on. OpenStreetMap, what's happened to my laptop? There we go. So, scrolling OpenStreetMap over so I can see where I'm going. I'm over here. Oh, this whole thing is Time Avenue. That's not going to get confusing at all. Time Avenue. Let's have one over here. This is going to be Whiteley Time Avenue, opposite Oak Coppice Road. And then we're going to have another stop there, which is going to be Whiteley Saffron Way, adjacent Time Avenue. Then we're going to stop over here. This is going to be Whiteley Marjoram Way. These roads are named after spices and trees and stuff. This is very, very weird. Adjacent Saffron Way. Then, you know what? I'll have a stop there. It's not going to be called Wagamama. It's going to be called Marjoram Way, adjacent Angelica Way. Whiteley Marjoram Way, adjacent Angelica Way. And then we come around the roundabout and we return to Whiteley Way, Solent Hotel, Rookery Avenue, Whiteley Primary School. And then after Whiteley Primary School, we'll make a stop there. After putting a waypoint there. That is going to be, hang on, Sweet Hills Crescent, adjacent Yew Tree Drive. No, that was the delete. Oh dear. Here we go. So this is going to be called Sweet Hills Crescent. Oh, hang on. It's Whiteley. Sweet Hills Crescent, adjacent Yew Tree Drive. Then Buchan Avenue, Timor Close. I'll put a stop there. Sweet Hills Crescent, opposite playing fields, why not? Oh, hang on, all of these are in the wrong place in terms of the timing, or in terms of the stop order. This is good. This game is not confusing in the slightest. Buchan Avenue, Timor Close, and Whiteley, Sweet Hills Crescent. Game's had a moment. Yeah, this stop is going to be Whiteley, Sweet Hills Crescent, opposite playing fields. When the game decides it wants to work. And then we rejoin Yew Tree Drive. Oh, Sweet Hills Crescentus. No, Sweet Hills Crescent, opposite playing fields. Then we're gonna have a stop there. And we need to get rid of the second Yew Tree Drive stop. No, we don't. Well, Lipizana Fields, that's certainly a name. Then we want to stop there. And then, where are we going? We are going out through this way, through Swanwick, Lower Swanwick, and then into Bursledon, where we will go around the village like this. Oh. So we're stopping at the Elm Tree. Then we are going down Swanwick Lane. Where is the fabled new road? There. Well, I'm not going to put the stop there. I'm going to put the stop over here. And this is opposite 59. I'm actually using house numbers for once, which is something they do in rural areas and small villages. Swanwick Lane, outside 59. I'll let that take the name Fairways School, I'm fine with that. I am not fine with that routing. But I am fine with that. I am, however, not fine with it being called Woodside Holt. Where are we? Swanwick Lane. near railway bridge, or now I'm unsure. Yeah, Swanwick Lane near railway bridge. Lower Swanwick by now. Swanwick with a K. Lower Swanwick. Swanwick Lane near railway bridge. There we go. Then we'll put a stop. Swanwick Lane. Let's go there. Swanwick Lane opposite Green Lane. I like that. Lower Swanwick. Lower Swanwick. Swanwick Lane opposite Green Lane. Like that. And then the Spinnaker. Then, how did I say we were going to come into Bursledon? Because actually, I want to come into Bursledon like that. Because there's these schools. So let's do that. The Crow's Nest. I'll take that. Then we'll put a stop here, which is going to be called Hungerford Corner Q Lane. Bursledon, Hungerford Corner Q Lane. Then if I continue looking down Hungerford, there is up here a post box. So I'm going to go Bursledon, Hungerford, opposite post box. Then I'm going to put a stop there. That's going to be Bursledon, Sultan's Lane, adjacent Hungerford. Then that stop is going to be High Street, opposite Sultan's Lane. Bursledon, High Street, opposite Sultan's Lane. And then we're going to head up High Street, up this way, and I'm going to put a stop there, and that is going to be that's just going to be called Bursledon. There you go. Then we come back down, have a stop there at Bursledon, Sultan's Lane, adjacent High Street, stop here at Bursledon, Hungerford, adjacent Sultan's Lane. A stop over here at Bursledon, Hungerford, adjacent post box. That's not where I want to put that. It could go there, but it's not where I want it to go. This is going to be Bursledon, Hungerford. Is it still called Hungerford at that point? No, it's Q Lane. Kew Lane adjacent Hungerford. And we will stop there, and we will stop at the Crow's Nest, and then we'll come down, stop at Station Road, but that one. Have a new stop at the Spinnaker there. Have a stop on Swanwick Lane there, which will be called Swanwick Lane adjacent Cole Park Lane. Lower Swanwick Lane adjacent Cole Park Lane. This is going to be Lower Swanwick Lane at Railway Bridge. Then we'll have a stop there at the school. Now where do we place the stop over here? Let's put it opposite 55, which is this one. There we go. Swanwick Lane opposite 55. Then we'll have a stop at the Elm Tree, Yew Tree Drive, Lipazana Fields, Whiteley, Sweet Hills, Outside Playing Fields, Timor Close, Buchan Avenue, Hispano Avenue, and Whiteley Primary School. And then we're heading back in, but not quite. We come off at Whiteley Way, and we're going to have a stop there at Whiteley Marjoram Way opposite Angelica Way. Then we're going to have this stop at Whiteley Saffron Way adjacent Marjoram Way. Then Whiteley Time Avenue. That's not how you spell time. Time Avenue opposite Saffron Way. Then Whiteley Time Avenue adjacent Oak Coppice Road. And then I'll have one there, which will be called, where am I? Silver Birch Way opposite Kingswood Close. Silver Birch Way opposite Kingswood Close. And then into there. But I want to know what's going on with that. I want to know what happened to my waypoints. I had waypoints. So after Whiteley Primary School, there's a waypoint. Let's get rid of that. What did that do? Nothing. Good. What's that waypoint doing? There's a lot of stops around here. Yeah, why does it want us to go this way? Okay, that waypoint's not for this route. So let's have a look. Yep, that's fine. Yeah, I'm gonna check OpenStreetMap, see if that road I've sent it down is one way. No, doesn't look like it. No, it seems to be okay. So why is it going this way? Maybe it's something on this side. I don't know why it would be. Right, let's have a look. Let's come down. So it comes out of Whiteley, and it comes down through this way, and this is all right. Then the last stop before we go up Sweet Hills Crescent is Whiteley Primary School, and then it looks like the right distance. Then Buchan Avenue, Timor Close, and the playing fields. That's fine. Okay. That's not changed it, so I can put that stop back. Then coming back the other way, which Yew Tree Drive stop is it? Well, that's not changed anything, so I'm going to put the stop not there. I need to know what's gone down this road, because it's only the W3 that's being shown right now. So the W3 has clearly gone wrong somewhere. I mean, all of these look right in terms of their distances, so I have no idea what's gone on there. So I'm going to try and ignore it, and this is the new W3. I don't like that waypoint's there. I need to know where that waypoint is. It should be on the way back, and it should be right before Hispano Avenue, but it's not. So I can only assume it's a figment of my imagination. And I'm just going to accept that maybe W3s will go down that road and maybe they won't. But now I need to majorly rework this timetable. It's going to run every half hour, using the Diddy solos, because who doesn't love a Diddy solo? In fact, oh, you can move them. That's cool. Why does it start earlier on a Sunday? 7:30, 6:30. That's fine. So this is outbound, which actually means inbound. So let's move that and get rid of everything out to Bursledon, except the stop called Bursledon. And again, everything seems to be alright here. So Coming out of Bursledon, I'm going to have a minute at the Crow's Nest. Then I'm going to have a minute at probably Fairways. And then again at Hispano Avenue. And then one for the sake of padding at Whiteley Village Cinema. And we're going to have no break at Whiteley Village, it'll just come straight back. There we go. Inbound. Get rid of these stops. Go to back to Bursledon, but no further. And we are going to have a stop at Whiteley Way, a stop at Yew Tree Drive, oh, we got rid of that stop. Huh. We found our culprit. It's that stop at Hispano Avenue that's broken things. Well, now we know, but we're leaving it out of the timetable, so it doesn't really matter. It'll be our little secret. Right, where was I with timing points? Yew Tree Drive. So I will go with the Spinnaker. Then at the junior school, and for padding's sake, at High Street Sultan's Lane. So if I go to timetable preview, first of all this needs to be flipped, so this needs to start at 6:30. Oh, game doesn't like this. So, yeah, I'll get the rest of the timetable done in a little jump cut. Hopefully we can keep the vehicle requirement on this route to 3. I don't know what it was before, but hopefully we can keep this to 3. So, the W3 is now done. That will be ready for its new timetable launch tomorrow. And we'll just ignore this, because I could timetable it out. So, that's the W3. Now I need to relaunch the W1. I don't think the color code is still on my clipboard. We'll see. It might be. If it is, I will be very, very happy. I am very, very happy. It is. This is going to be the W1 from Bishops, Waltham to Warsash. Here we go. Starting at Bishops Waltham Schools. Bishops Waltham \n size equals 75%. Small caps. Schools. Small caps. Size equals 100%. And we'll come out like that. First stop will be there. Second stop will be there. But it won't. No, it won't. It'll be there. then there, then there, then there. Ooh, not there. Well, there, but not exactly. Then Green Lane, then Bishop's Waltham Square, and then we're going to head down this way through Curdridge and then go where the old W1 used to go. So post me if you don't mind. And we now have the new W1 from Bishop's Waltham through Whiteley Village to Warsash. It's a significant upgrade to the old W1, and it's going to be a lot busier than the old W1, which is very good because I have bigger buses for it. I'm not saying what, but I have bigger buses for this route. And the W1 is now in. So, Mondays to Saturdays in the daytime, it runs every 30 minutes, and that is from 6 till 6. In the evening, from 7 till 10, it runs every hour and skips Loxheath Centre. The same goes for the other direction, it skips Loxheath Centre. And then on Sundays, for the entire day of operation from 7 till 8, it skips Loxheath Centre. And the reason why it skips Loxheath Centre is to allow it to not have a stupid long stand time at Warsash. Mondays, Saturdays in the daytime, it has a full half an hour sat at Warsash Marina. As in, a bus will arrive at Warsash Marina just as the bus ahead leaves. So by cutting out Loxheath Centre, it can move on to the next service that it's doing with speed and efficiency. So, that's the gist, and you can see the journey time there is 4 minutes different. Just going to check that I have all my destinations in place. And I do. So, another change to the southbound timetable is that the stand at Bishop's Waltham Square is 2 minutes on both evenings during the week and all day on Sunday, while during the daytime during the week it is 4 minutes. That's just because Bishop's Waltham Square will act as sort of interchange, so the buses will sit there for a little bit of time. There is the W1, and let's see if I have a vehicle group for it. I do not, because this is a type that we've not used yet this series, and that will be allocated from the standard way garage later. The W3, in fact I'm going to move the W2 and W3 to the standard way garage, because currently they're being run out of Gosport, which makes no sense at all. So let's just move those to standard way, and the W3 to standard way. Then let's head over to Gosport, where we currently have 53 buses, and we will soon have less. I'm not too concerned about the utilisation of space at Standard Way, because there's a fair few Portsmouth services still assigned to Standard Way, which I will get around to changing. It's just I will do that off camera, and I will get around to it. In the meantime, I'm buying a bus. And this is what we're buying. These are a fictional version of the B8RLE Right Eclipse 3 based on the short wheelbase of the B8RLE chassis. This wheelbase does exist in the UK. They exist, but they're only with MCV Evora bodywork. But in theory, Wrightbus could have offered the Eclipse 3 in this 10.9 meter version, which I think is just so adorable. It's, you know, it's a proper Wright Eclipse. It's got a, you know, it looks like an Eclipse. It is an Eclipse, but it's tiny and small and adorable. Naturally, standard way VWS with the Whiteley Village branding literally ripped from the Solos. I think it's made a really cute little bus, and I can't wait to see these running around the map. There's going to be more than just this patch, but standard way garage is full, so before I can do that, I really do need to get the Portsmouth services moved out of here and down to Fratton. But sat next to the EMs, they are proper looking buses. The EMs still carry the Southern Vectis logos, but I think these Eclipses are so pretty. Aren't they adorable? Aren't they so cute? I don't know the release status of this mod. I don't know if it is going to be released. I don't know if the person who's making it wants to release it, because it is a fictional variant of this bus. You know, 10.9 meter Eclipse 3s never existed. And, you know, now that Volvo is no longer a chassis partner with Wrightbus, they will never exist. So I don't know. I think it would be nice for the guy making us to release them, because it's such a nice little thing. But it is their prerogative. So Whiteley Village, standard way. Let's copy that. The fleet number is not going to be VWS1. In fact, it's not going to be anywhere near. Because we're treating these 10.9 meter Eclipse 3s as the successors to the Wright Crusader, which is basically a very small Wright Renown with a Volvo B6LE or B6BLE chassis, which were lovely little buses. I got to go on one at Lowish last year, an ex-Dublin bus example, and the thing was lovely. National busways will have had loads of Crusaders, so this is actually going to be VWS. Let's go with 255, VWS 255, and it's going to be WV for Whiteley Village, WV18. Let's go with. You can't have I. Can you have I? You can't have I. VLG. There you go. Oh, well, let's move that there. There we go. There you go. Whiteley Village 18 VLG. And I will get the rest of these done in a happy little jump cut. And there they are. The tiny little solo SRs and our new short Eclipse 3s now sat at the Standard Way Garage in Fareham. I really think that these buses make quite a smart fleet, and yeah, look how cute they are, and the contrasty panel from the pale yellow to the bright yellow on the front. They're so sweet. Look at them. And then next to the very formal Solent blue bus. You know, this is a very, very tidy fleet that we have going. And I think it's time that we activate the W1. The new W1 from Bishop's Waltham to Warsash. And we have just enough buses to run the W1. 6 was exactly the right call. And the W2, well, not W2, the W4 is going to run from Titchfield over here, probably up the same way as the W1, and to Hedge End. So between Botley-ish, well, between Kerbridge and the bottom end of down here, there'll be a bus every 15 minutes by the W1 and W4 with our lovely little Eclipses. So that's not bad. We have a nice little plan going. So let's fast forward to the start of service on the W1. And the first one has just left. It's a W1 to Bishop's Waltham Schools. So, that means this one, we just missed it. Well, that's a, yeah, that one's going to Warsash Marina. So, let's go and find them. Why is the W3 highlighted? You are going to do the 6 o'clock from Warsash Marina. So, let's just speed things along just to get that down to Warsash. I think this is Warsash Marina. It looks like that's what it should be called. And there's a sailing club here, and you know, normally they inhabit things called marinas. So I'm just gonna go with marina and hope that that's somewhat close enough. Right, it's go time on the W1, the new W1. We've kind of given it the 129 treatment. Although that is tomorrow's video. There's a video out tomorrow at 6 PM covering the extended 129 and the SL4 through the new Silvertown Tunnel. Because it's a development that's been a long time coming, and I happened to be in Lewisham that morning because I'd just come off the 108 from filming the first episode of By Night, which I hope you guys enjoyed that. I'm very, very proud of that episode. And it was so much fun to film. Like, I'm planning future episodes of By Night, like, as we speak, because they're so much fun to record. So yes, but that's enough about By Night. Here we have a W1, and it was doing really, really well. Like, it was quite busy coming up through Swanwick, and then it's just died off. And then I presume that as we get in towards Bishop's Waltham, it'll start picking up again, maybe. But, I mean, I'd imagine that these little Eclipse 3s, the short ones, are quite well suited to this area. Because, you know, they offer big bus, you know, they're a Volvo B8, they're a big bus, it's just short. So they offer all the niceties of a big bus. But, you know, better power to weight ratio, I assume there might be some hills in this area. And just, you know, better fuel economy from being a lighter bus. Like, these buses are probably an absolute home run for this area. Ooh, that's fun. I wasn't expecting it to do that, but I'll let it do that. And then we go back to Warsash at 7. And we come out of Bishop's Waltham the long way. And in through the town, like the little high street, and around. Oh yeah, I forgot we wait for a good couple minutes here, because it's the interchange, and we're not dealing with huge passenger numbers. Early in the morning, on a Saturday, on the first day of the new W1. But I don't mind that. It's a little local bus. And we do quite well down at the Warsash end. Well, Swanwick. So when we get down into Warsash, I'm going to check on the... Oh, of course, the new timetable for the W3 isn't actually active yet. Oh... Okay, so the W3 will also be stealing some of our ridership, because the W3 is currently running the old W1 route. It's just called the W3 now, and that's why I thought it worked. It didn't work. Well, it did work, it's just how that's just what the game does. Yeah, and the W3 is doing fairly well. It's filling up its little solos quite nicely. But that's good to know, actually, that there's more that this route can give if I let it. Well, if I wait for the W3 to actually switch over to be the W3. But coming down through Swanwick and into Warsash, we are doing quite well. This sort of number is a good number of people to have on a bus this size. And I think the W1 will serve us well. Now, you might notice, in the bottom left corner, we have quite the war chest. And that is because I'm planning some major changes to the fleet and garage situation in Southampton. Because we have B5TL Gemini 3s, which are diesels only, you know, pure diesels, running cross-city service, which made sense at the time because we didn't have a hybrid Gemini, and I wanted Geminis for them. But it's given me there's a has it been properly released yet? I think there might be some variants that are released and some variants that aren't, of a B5LH Gemini 3. I know that the dual-door variants, which would be London variants, are certainly on the workshop. I'm less sure about the single-door variant that we're going to be using here, but I have made a Solent Red livery for that, and I am feverishly researching double-decker buses to try and unlock the single-door variant of the Gemini 3 on the B5LH. So let's set one more off, and in the meantime I'm going to show you using the dual-door variant, because the dual-door variant is like the door isn't modelled, so it's not going to mess it up. It's just I want a proper single door. And also because it's a London variant, it has scroll blinds with Johnston typeface, which, as much as I prefer a scroll blind to an LED, we're using LEDs everywhere else. We might as well use LEDs for these. And Johnston is very TFL, and we are not TFL. So, Solent Red, it is the WVH class for Right Volvo Hybrid, and here they are. The B5LH Gemini 3. This is a sight that is all too familiar to me as a Londoner. But I think they look absolutely stunning in Solent Red. But of course they look good in red. We use them in London. This is the colour that they're like most recognisable in. But I'm looking forward to deploying these on the 5 and 10 and upcoming Route 15 that I still need to plan out. But there's going to be a 15 with them. That's going to be another crosstown. The B5 TLs are going to move onto the 4 and 9, where we're currently using B9 TLs, which will get cascaded down to Jurassic County when we get down to Bournemouth and stuff like that. And there's going to be 2 new garages in Southampton, one at Nursling or Hillyfields and the other one at Hedge End, just to sort of decentralise the operation a little bit, and get services from out that way running from their far end of the route first. So, you know, just to tidy the operation up in Southampton a bit, and allow things to work a little bit more as people might expect. And using modern buses on the 4 and the 9. Because at the moment, the 9 is trundling its way out of Southampton using ancient buses, and then Solent Blue are treating Parkgate and Swanwick to, you know, much newer buses. Even the 222 uses buses that are more than, or about 5 years younger. And that's, you know, just to gospel. So there's a lot to be done. There's a lot I want to do. So I built up a war chest, and that is a story for next week. So I will see you from the South Coast next Monday. Bye bye.